Hey, everybody. If you offend easily, you don't need Jesus. You need Darwin. Evolve, bitch. So, something I was thinking about the other day, and I figured might as well share it here because why not? I'm a kind of girl who likes my long flowing dresses and my, frilly skirts and, long shawls and stuff like that. And I a lot of times I hear the women who or people who like that sort of thing sit there and make the comment, "Well, I have nowhere to wear it. Where would I ever wear it?" Wear it at home around the house. I literally popped on this fancy little dress that I got from the thrift store, okay, and put my slippers on and went around and vacuumed my house, mopped my floors. And it occurs to me, why aren't we doing that more often? Why aren't we going to a thrift store or even looking in our closets for that old prom dress you're never going to wear again, or those bridesmaids dresses that you really are never going to wear again, or even, like I said, the stuff at the thrift stores that nobody's buying unless it's like a once in a yearly thing, circumstance, like a prom or a homecoming or a wedding or something. Why aren't we buying these just to clean around the house in? Go do gardening in a ball gown. Mop your floors with a veil and train on, why not? Get yourself a faux mink or something like that, and dust the house. Go garden. I still like gardening in your ball gown, but that's just me. Anyway, moving right along to what we're really here for. So, been shuffling the cards. Let's see how we do today. A reverse 4 of Wands. So let me go ahead and show you upright. Now, before I begin, I do want to remind everybody this is a cold reading, meaning I don't know you, I'm not connected to you, we don't have a bond. This is simply a reading not aimed at anyone. So if you happen to get a reading out of it, congratulations. The reverse 4 of Wands is usually an indication of stability having fallen away, or a situation, I knew I felt something, a situation where the foundation of what you were aiming for seems to have crumbled, seems to have fallen apart, or otherwise, your situation's become unstable. You may want to look at the foundation you've based your circumstances on and see if maybe one or two of the legs underneath you might be giving out. We have, you see, don't tell me you're going to start reading in reverse. We have a reverse 4 of Cups. Trying to read Roman numerals upside down is a challenge unto itself. A reverse 4 of Cups. All right, now the concept behind this one is that you have 3 perfectly good cups, but you're always wishing for something more. This is basically a grass is greener on the other side type of card. All right, or at least that's what you think. And it, as always, fertilize your own. So being in reverse this is an indication that potentially you reached too far for something you weren't destined to get, or you were so unsatisfied with what you had that you may have either used it incorrectly or let it spoil, like milk in a cup, because I'm used to reading with my cat people tarot deck, and that's spoiled milk in the cup, or just otherwise you're still wishing for something you can't have. Maybe your lack of stable foundation has more to do with your head being in the sky rather than your focus being on the ground in front of you or the ground underneath you. All right. I half expect to see the Fool card at any moment, just the way that this is all shaping up here. So let me give it a little more. Shuffle reverse. We like a random shuffle at all times. We have the Moon card. Now this is interesting, the way this deck presents it, depicts it. That's the word I'm looking for. Because normally you see a reflection of the moon in the water and all that, but you have more of a, because I see a fish down in the water, Usually, okay, this card typically indicates an illusion. It might be true, might not, depends on which reality you're looking at versus, 6 versus 9 and that sort of thing. But this card in this deck, because you have the crow and then you have the fish down here, it almost, if you look at it from the concept that crows, they don't actually live at night, but mythologically they're creatures of the night, that they're hunting. They're what they're willing to do in order to gain their I don't want to say meal for the day, but sometimes we have to consider the nature of the deck while considering the definition of the card. So though this card is typically a which reality is correct, this is also from this deck the point of view of the who is predator and prey. The fish versus the crow, because if that fish is an illusion, that crow goes into the water and has a whole different experience. You've also got down here the crow in the cage. I do want to point that out too. So there would be more of your illusion aspect. Is what you're hunting going to put you in a cage? Which is reality. The bird of the cage. All right, I've dwelled on that long enough. I think you'll get the message by now. Moving right along, we have, I'm not surprised to see this one either. The Hanged Man. And look, it's in the upright position, which means he's upside down. Isn't that hilarious? So, of course, you're trapped and tangled in a branch or something. You've got yourself all tied up. Generally speaking, you're enduring a punishment. You're enduring some karmic repercussion. But I've always liked the aspect of the Hanged Man being, it's a temporary situation. You are not permanently there. You are temporarily there until you resolve the problem that got you there in the first place. Or you've atoned for what you needed to atone for. Basically, serve your time and then move on. All right? Which kind of couples nicely with the Moon card having a caged bird. So, my own prison type of thing. Random pull, random pull. Oh, reverse King of Wands. So we're going to flip and rotate that. All right. So takes a lot of brass for the bird to land on the lion's head like that. All right. So we're already dealing with a lot of brass and a lot of audacity and a lot of courage and a lot of maybe even some hubris in there, cockiness even. So being in reverse, you're not as good as you thought. You might actually wind up being a meal instead of the predator you think you are, or that's confident. And again, with the whole situation of your foundation's not stable because you went after something you weren't supposed to or wasn't meant for you. And as a result, you've lost position, you've lost authority, you've lost that which made you powerful. Now, any kind of confidence you may have is based in a false reality or an alternate reality where you seem to think you've got the upper hand. But no, the lion has devoured. The bird is in the cage. The foundation is not there. Let's move on to the next tier. We're going to drop it down to 3 because I'm already moving along slower than I meant to. So we're going to go ahead and couple the reverse 4 of Wands, lack of stability, the reverse 4 of Cups, you went after something you weren't supposed to and then you ruined everything, and the Moon card, which is the illusion. Are you the bird or are you the bird in the cage? You may want to take another look on whether that fish is real. Combining them all, we have the Wheel of Fortune. What goes up must go down. What goes down must come back up. Pick a vowel, pick a consonant. It's your Wheel of Fortune. Yes, I went there, folks. I did. I'm cheesy like that. So, usually with your Wheel of Fortune, if the wheel is turning like this, it turned one way because it was supposed to, and now it's going to turn the next way because this is just the next sequence of things. Like, you can't expect to have been up and not expect a crash or a down again. All right? So, you're at the beginning of the next phase or you're going into the next phase, and it doesn't look pretty. It is a downward roll. All right. Combining your reversed Four of Cups, you let the milk spoil, you let everything go bad, you didn't fertilize your own grass, and now look at what you got no hay. Combined with the Moon card, which is the illusion, which is the reality, is the fish really there? And the Hanged Man, that this is only a temporary situation. So combining those three, we have Judgment. Oh, remember how we talked about some karma? Some karma. This confirms it's karma. It's karma. Wow. Now, in the positions that I have them in, it does directly fall on top of the Moon. Like, your judgment, look at it, not what you want to turn it into. Interpret the judgment correctly. It's the only way you'll figure out how to get out of your own self-made prison. All right? Combining the Moon card, which is your mystery, possible deceptions, illusions, with your Hanged Man, it's only a matter of time that you have to serve your sentence, and the reverse King of Wands, where you kind of overcalculated and you didn't wind up on top like you thought you were going to. Combining these three together, we have the Lovers in the upright position. So we have the coming together of a union situation. We have a coming together of souls that connect. Some people could interpret this as relationship, or usually interpret it as a relationship, usually a very intimate one. You'll notice on the card itself, there's a heart in between the two of them, like an actual one that they're both feasting on. So I understand it's a lover situation, but again, combine what you know with what the personality of the deck is. Remember that the heart is getting eaten. It may be the two of you are devouring your kills together, but it's still the heart getting eaten. This heart getting consumed. Possibly even a bit of obsessiveness that may overtake the situation if you're not careful. All right? Because again, remember, you're not where you thought you were. You're no longer on top like you thought you were. You're in a self-made prison now, so eat your heart out. I guess it's the only way to really escape, huh? All right, combining the Wheel of Fortune with the Judgment, with the Lovers, because we're all major arcana on the second round there, apparently. Actually, there's a lot of major arcana going on here today. So combining what goes up must go back down, the Judgment placed upon you, and the eating of your own heart with the friend or mate or lover of your choice, but you're still eating your heart. Combining those three, you have a 4, again with the 4s. 4 of Pentacles. Now this one I'm actually going to go ahead and double check, because I believe, actually I'm pretty sure this is the Greed and Miser card, and it even makes sense in this image because they're holding all their coins together. So this would be the Miser. This would be the one who's saving up for a rainy day that may never happen. This could be an overabundance of caution that may actually be damaging you. There comes a certain point in your life where you just have to spend the money. You just have to eat the cake. You just have to buy the dress. All right. Sometimes you just have to break down and go to the concert. And I know, we live in a world where we can't afford it. I know. Apparently none of us can do it anyway. All right. I know, easier said than done. I do want to double check, please, real quick. I want to make sure my 4 is my 4, what I think it is. And it is. Greed and Miserly. See, this deck is so much easier to read than the Neon Tarot. I can't explain it. Which is a shame, because I have a real neon setup going on here. But nope, we really like the Crow Tarot. It flows. It makes sense. So yeah, you've spent so much time trying to save yourself, others, circumstances. You've spent so much time trying to save that you've put yourself in a prison. And you've spun the wheel, and now you're left eating your heart out with the person of your choice. It's the best way I can interpret that. Generally speaking, you held on too tight. You've caused yourself some problems. You've created a prison for yourself, and you are the only way out again. You are the only way out again. So as soon as I finish putting away my reference deck, watch, I'm going to go ahead and pull one last card that's going to cost me to have to go reopen it. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Make sure we get the most random shuffle. Well, fine. You didn't want to go down. Seven of Pentacles. What I tell you, I'm going to have to go look it up. Now, going with the interpretation I've got going on here, Seven of Pentacles, you made yourself a nest out of that which you provided, that which you sought yourself, that which you collected on your own. And it's the aspect of prepping for what comes next, I guess, almost like, and I'm pretty sure I've got the correct card in mind, the field in which you grow. I told y'all I was going to have to open this. This is a crow who's waiting, I guess, in a sense, for that rainy day as well, because they've made a nest out of pentacles. They made a nest out of everything they think they're going to need before raising a family in that nest. So, what I told y'all I'd have to go back into the reference deck. I knew it. I might be psychic. But if, anyway, shut up. I heard that all the way over here. Shut up. I want to see how close I am here, because I know what it looks like to me. Oh, it is the planting card, the field that you grow your crops in. I called it. I might know my deck. See, I told you this deck just makes more sense to me. So, yeah, you're prepping, again, with the whole prep for tomorrow, and that's great, but what's in the nest? What's in the nest, folks? What's in the nest? All right, one more just to give you a little piece of extra, and then I'm out of here. We have the Three of Wands. See, again, it's the whole focus on the future, looking toward what happens next, worried about what might be coming on the horizon, or focused on the next phase, or the next direction, or the next adventure. Like, can you just live in the present for a moment? You might actually figure out why you're in the hot mess you're in, or why you are the hot mess you are, or why you're tired and exhausted all the time. Yeah, I'm looking at you because I'm pretty sure this reading reflects you a lot, saint of my life. But for anybody else, same message. Pay attention to the now and stop worrying about the tomorrow quite so much. Deal with your self-made prison now. You can't deal with that prison tomorrow. You'll be able to deal with it a lot better tomorrow if you're not in it today. All right? All right, folks, I've had enough of y'all. Bye to my, or love to my saint. Bye with the rest of y'all. Toodles!